Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl Katrina, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can apply some beautiful decals. Golden decals. Yes, I said it right. This is not just any regular water slide paper, but this is a nice golden water slide paper. Who is it by? You got to stay tuned to find out. But I'm going to show you how you do full wraps. I'm going to show you how you do cut and print. I'm going to show you how you can apply them to various different sizes. And I'm going to show you who is the awesome provider and where you can get this decal paper from. So you guys know what to do. Go ahead, like and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get started and let's do some water slide today. Something special for you guys. A sub reached out to me and said that they wanted me to try and review and demo their water slide paper. Now y'all know I love A sub sublimation paper. I review it all the time. And the water slide paper that I've always used off of Amazon works great, works beautifully. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's linked down below in all my other previous videos. It hardly ever cracks. I mean, it just transfers like a dream. Slides off so easily. But today I'm going to be trying out this new water slide decal paper from A sub. Now it comes in inkjet clear and it comes in the inkjet white. I never knew that they had water slide paper. Who knew? Did you know? Okay, so listen. I'm gonna give this my honest review, honest opinion, and it also says that it has like this golden sheen to it. So I'm excited about that. It says the darker the substrate, the more of a golden sheen it has. So of course these are some Dollar Tree mugs in red and black. You can't sublimate them. You can only apply vinyl. You can only apply water slide. So these will be perfect, and I'm going to see how it works perfectly. Of course these can be sublimated, but I want to show you what it looks like in the white as well. I'll be using the clear inkjet on these, and I'll be using the white on these. So I'm excited to show you how it turns out. And if you're interested, if you like this water slide paper, the link will be down below. Again, this is A sub paper. We have it in the clear and you have it in the white. I'm going to take you through the steps, show you how you apply it, just like any other water slide paper. This is not sublimation paper, so it does not require sublimation ink. It's water slide, so you have to use a regular inkjet printer for this. So let's go ahead and get started. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channels for more tutorials, more behind the scenes of my business, and turn on your notification bells. That way you're notified every time I post a new video. So guys, let's go ahead and get started and print these out. I'm going to desktop mode and show you the designs that I have. Okay, so I'm in my Silhouette Studios Design Edition, and these are the files that I'm going to be applying the water slides to. So first I have these 2Ks, and all these designs, all these PNGs, SVG files come from one of my favorite websites, and that is Creative Fabrica. I've talked about it in previous videos. You can get all these designs and much more on that site just by signing under and clicking my link. You get your first month for only $1 a month, and you have access to everything: fonts, designs, templates, layouts, so much more. So these designs, I got them from that site. These 2 letter Ks, I'm going to put them on the small white bowl, and they're already measured to the correct size, which is about 2 inches. I want to try to get it as big as I can. 2 inches, that's perfect. Now this Blessed Mama one is so colorful, so bright. I love these colors together. So I'm going to put that on the 17-ounce latte mug, and let's see how large I can make it, because you don't want it to be too large because it is a curved mug. It needs to be about 3 inches in width. So I'm going to bring that down to about 3 inches in width. That should be good. I'm going to do 2 of those. So if you want to make a copy, all you got to do is just hit the Alt key. I'm using a PC, and just bring it down. And now this one is going to go on a black background. So now, because I don't want to do too much cutting, I'm going to actually apply a black background behind it, because it's going on a black mug. Because it has all the little small stars and stuff, it would be hard to cut out. Not saying it's impossible, but Why go through all that when I can just place a black background behind it and make it much more simpler? So I'm going to make that background black. I'm going to move it behind it, send to back, because this is how it's going to look on the mug anyway. And now I'm just going to resize it to make it like a perfect fit. And I can even make it more centered by going up to the top and click center. And there you go. And now I'm going to group that together so it doesn't move. So now I'm going to measure the whole thing so that way it fits on the size of my mug. So I want it 3 inches in height. I'm gonna make it about 3.2 because I have the little space with the black and at the top and the bottom. And I can always cut that off. So now I'm gonna separate these because this is gonna be on the white paper and this is gonna be on the clear paper, the clear transparent paper. I have my registration marks turned on, as you can see. So if you want to know how to turn on your registration marks, I'm in my Silhouette Studios Designer Edition because I have a cameo. You want to come over to the panel on the right hand side for your registration marks and just turn it on. If it's off, you just want to click it on. I always go up to a thickness of 60 right over here, and then I bring it all the way down. Normally it's about somewhere around here in this range, but I always bring it down so that way it can come all the way to the edges so you can get as much room as possible. So now that I have that set, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send this to print. It's printed right side up, and then I'm going to leave it just like this so that way I can cut it as well because I will be doing precise cutting. So now it's time to cut. I'm going to go ahead and click send. I'm going to use my cardstock adhesive back. That's just what I always use. So my blade is on a 4, my force is on 29, and the speed is on 3. So now I'm hoping that this cuts out nice and precise. So we shall see. If I notice that it's not cutting out correctly, I will stop it and I will just go ahead and cut it around as close as possible because it is the clear Waterslide decal. You want to make sure that it's on the cut setting so that way you can get all your little, if you have any little intricate parts that you want to cut out in between, like the inside of letters. But if not, if you're just cutting the outside, the border, then the cut edge is fine. But I'm just going to leave it on cut for everything because I just want to make sure everything cuts out precisely. So now this is the next design that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be applying this to my Dollar Tree mug. And I found the Sublimation Mug Wraps, which you can interchange and use them as Waterslide decals as well. They're about the same size, so I just tweaked it just a little bit to measure it to fit my mug that I have. So it measures at about a 9.3 to about a 4.2. I end up cutting it out by hand because, as you see, you can't even see my registration marks. It's a little bit too big. It overlaps for the registration mark, so I had to end up cutting it out by hand. But it worked out perfectly because it's all straight edges. I just used my little cutting tool, so it was not that hard, not that difficult. I didn't mind. But these registration marks do not give you a lot of space when you're trying to apply decal. So now when you get ready to print and cut it out, because I applied the black background to the smaller decals, you see where all those red lines are? You don't want all that to cut out. So from before, you wanted the cut method, but now you want to use the cut edge. So now you want to select it and you want to click on cut edge. So that way you only get the outside, you only get the border. You do not want all the words, all the stars and everything to cut out in between. That was the whole purpose of applying the background, so it'll make it much easier. So when you select the cut edge, you only get the outside border. So now I'm going to select that and I'm going to go ahead, print it out, and then cut it out by hand. Hope that makes sense. Now all your instructions will be on the front of the paper. You want to print on the glossy side. So because mine flips, I have to place it glossy side down. And you can actually see the sheen. So it does say that this paper has a sheen to it. So this is completely different from my other water slide paper. So it's not like a solid white. It's like a sheen white. Ooh, I'm excited. Let's see if we can tell the difference when we actually do it. So this is the clear one. I'm going to register that. And I'm going to print that out. let's see how this one printed out. And you see that shine? You can definitely see the metallic in it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and seal this one in 3 times, and then we can apply it. So now this one is the inkjet white. I'm gonna put this one in, and let's see if this one has a sheen to it. Yep, this one has a sheen as well. You can see that in the camera. You wanna put it glossy side down if your printer rotates. So I'm gonna put that in just like that. And it is 8.5 by 11 paper. And again, all the instructions are on here, and it's telling you to place it glossy side down and to let it dry and avoid touching the image. Okay, so that printed out. It definitely takes a lot of ink. Oh, but you can see the shine. Look at that. So I definitely don't want to touch the image. I can definitely see that it's still a little wet. So now I'm going to go ahead in my garage and I'm going to spray these, show you how you seal them, let them dry before you can apply them. Okay, so I'm in my garage. I just put it in like a little box. Now, you can use the clear gloss by Rust-Oleum, or you can use the clear glaze by Krylon, but I feel like this works much better. That's what I had started using. So this is what I'm going to be using. You want to spray it at least 3 times. Let it sit for about 30 minutes apart. Shake it real well. And I'm just going to give it a nice even coat. I'm going to lift that one up. My garage is so junky because I have been doing so much work. So excuse me. I'm gonna spray this one nice and evenly all around. So that's the first time. I'll let them sit for about 30 minutes and I'll do it again 2 more times each. Okay, so I have my water. I have my mug. I'm just gonna wipe the mug down. You will need a squeegee. This helps out. My water is lukewarm. This is the one that I did with the black background. So we're gonna see how this comes out. And we're gonna see how long this A-Sub water slide paper actually takes to remove from the backing, because the other one that I use, it does it really quick, within 30 seconds or less. Once you notice that it starts to move, then it'll be a good transfer. So now as you see, no color is actually spilling into the water, so that means the ink is sealed in perfectly. I'm gonna go ahead and wet this. You need to wet your mug. Okay, there we go. It's loose. Now I'm going to transfer it, and let's see how this transfers. So once you wet your surface, then you just apply it to wherever you want it at. I want to make sure all my edges are straight. And you just slide the backing right on out. You want to get it in the position that you want. While it's still wet, you can still move it around. Then you're going to take it and use this to get all that extra moisture out. I can already tell this is a perfect transfer. And I'm loving the way the colors look, because it does have that golden sheen to it. That is really nice. And this is not even dry yet. So now after you do that, then you just want to take a paper towel and lightly dry it off. Now I can still see the edges of the black, so we'll see how that looks afterwards. So now you can let this sit for about 3 to 5 hours to completely dry, or you can bake it. So I'm just gonna set this aside for now and do the rest. So I was actually going to apply this full water slide wrap to the red mug, but once I put it up to it, because this water slide paper has that golden sheen to it, in my opinion, I thought it looked better up against the black mug. So I started to apply it, then I was like, no, the reds kind of, contrast against each other. So that's why I switched it to the black mug. switch it to the black mug. Okay, so it's starting to come off. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let that sit in the water. I'm gonna position it exactly where I want it. And I'm gonna start to slide. I don't wanna smudge it. This is a long one. I'm gonna help it out just by moving because it's really long. And I'm gonna remove the backing. Now I'm gonna put it back in the water. Make sure your cup is nice and wet. Okay. I'm gonna take my silicone brush and I'm gonna just start removing that excess out. Making sure it's straight. Now it says no cracking, so I'm hoping that this water slide doesn't crack, hoping that it wraps perfectly. So far, I don't see any cracking. I want a beautiful transfer. I'm gonna keep wetting my mug underneath. Now, because I don't have this on the turner, ooh, I do not want that to happen. Okay, what I'm noticing is that my cut was a little off, but I met the size. Now let's see if we can straighten this out because I don't like the way the bottom looks. So let's see how well we do with straightening. Now I only have one of these. I only did one. And I want my bottom to be perfect. Do y'all see? These things are such a headache. I've never done a full wrap mug. I've only done the tumblers on the turner, but doing it by hand can be challenging. You need to do this on a turner to make it easier. So I'm going to speed through this part because it did take me a minute to get this water slide paper in position. I had to finesse this baby and smooth it out as best as I could. And for me, working with it as long as I did and playing with it, this water slide paper upheld really well. It's really a great decal, but it also depends on how well you seal it in. Now, because I cut it with the cutter, it was off by just a little bit, so it's not perfect, but I made it work. So I'm gonna let that dry, but look how that shine is. Look at that shine. And that's a full wrap on a Dollar Tree mug. The full wraps are hard, but they're not impossible to do. But that looks so nice. All right, so I'm gonna put that one to the side. I just line it up right with the edge. Now we all know the cameo acts up sometime with the registration marks, but all I do is turn my ring light on so that way it'll pick up this black part right down here, and then it cuts perfectly. Okay, so I am hoping that that cut out precisely and perfectly, and I can already tell that it did. Yay! That's one thing you want, is you do not want to waste a water slide paper. You want it to cut out perfectly. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply the clear decals. So first I'm going to do this crazy shaped bowl, and I'm going to put the K's on them, and that's like the perfect size for them. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. I'm going to put them face down. So since I did the white ones first and I noticed that it took a few seconds longer than my other decal paper, I won't put the second one in until after this is like halfway ready. So I'm going to go ahead and wet this, move this over using my silicone little squeegee application brush, and you can get those anywhere, but I got them in a bundle off of Amazon. Once again, you'll know when it's ready once it starts to remove off of the backing. Apply some water. I'm going to show you how to remove it. You just want to put it up here. Now you see I have all these little small pieces, so I'm just going to lightly move it over. And I'm holding the backing with my left hand, and with my right hand I am trying to keep everything in place, and I'm just going to slide everything out nice and easy. Then I'm going to maneuver and put it back in place. Put my letter back in place, position it where I want it, and start to push out that water. Being very careful and gentle because this letter is very fragile. I don't want it to tear. And so far this water slide paper seems to be doing really well, upholding nicely. Ooh. I have a lot of water, so I'm just gonna lightly wipe away some of that water. So now you can let this sit for 3 to 5 hours, or you can put it in the oven and let it dry and bake on. That's the first one. Now I'm gonna do the next water slide. So by now you should be a pro at these water slides. So I'm gonna speed through this one. This one I'm just gonna push the backing out through the bottom to make it more easier. I'm gonna smooth that out, pat it down, dry it down, and the water slide is applied. So now the first ones I did, these are completely dry. They're cured on. I let them sit for a few hours and those are completely ready. But if you don't want to wait, you can stick them in your oven. And I'm going to bake them on. And I'm going to make it fit. It can't stand up because it's a 17 ounce. This is my small little oyster oven that I had got from Walmart over a year ago. I'm gonna put them in there. I'm gonna set this to 10 minutes at 400 degrees. And it's on bake, 10 minutes, 400 degrees. And I'll be back once it's done cooking. My timer just went off. So let's take it out. And I'm hoping that my smoke detector does not go off. So I'm going to remove it really fast. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Hot. So here is all the finished products. I'm not going to touch those yet because they are still piping hot. But as you can see, this one is the black on black, and I had the black background. Now I'm quite sure this would look better if I epoxied it, but I'm not going to do that, and then it would hide that. Now I only did it this way to make it easier just for video purposes, but I would probably never do it this way with a black background. I would cut out the actual words and everything, but I'm just showing you how the water slide paper looks. So it does have that golden shine to it, and it looks so nice. Now this is the one that I messed up just a little bit, only because when I cut it with my little cutting board, that it kind of shifted a little bit. So I got just a little few cracks here in the bottom. Now, of course, if you don't like the golden sheen look, then of course, then you would have to go with a different water slide paper. But this one does have that golden sheen texture to it, and I think it looks really nice. It's different from your plain, boring white decal paper. But now the white one, I have to hold it up. This is how it looks. Now, I did mess up my little letters just a little bit, so you can kind of see where I didn't get a chance to like kind of really smooth that out. But listen, these colors, honey, I love these colors. These colors look so nice on here, and you can still see some of the sheen as well. So I did this one front and back, the little K decal with the water slide paper, and there you have it. So again, this is the water slide paper from A-Sub. A-Sub has great sublimation paper, so now I tried their decal paper, and I like it. If you like it, let me know down below in the comments. This is the clear one, and this is the white one. Of course, they have both in 8.5 by 11 sizes. So definitely check out my link down below in the description box if you're interested in the A-Sub decal paper, and they have so many other products that you can check out on their website as well. So the link will be down below in the description box. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.